Welcome to HealthTech Talk. This is where business, healthcare, and technology collide. Our host, Ben Chodor, interviews healthcare innovators and industry titans who are striving to make the world healthier with bleeding-edge human ingenuity. You'll hear it all on HealthTech Talk. Now, here's your host, Ben Chodor.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ben Chodor, and you're listening to HealthTech Talk, broadcasting from 640 WGST and streaming worldwide on the iHeartRadio network. I have an incredible show. I have four amazing guests and one co-host with me today. My co-host is Mark Goldstone. He is the CEO and founder of Frere & Trogue. It's an amazing organization. We're going to get into his company a little bit later in the show, but Mark's actually here because he has a lifetime of experience in the world of healthcare and pharma and advertising and marketing. So it's really great for our guests, and I'm excited to have you here, Mark.
Well, I'm really excited to be here too, Ben, so thanks for inviting me along.
Well, it's going to be a hell of a ride. I want to jump into my first guest. It's Amanda Shailendra. She is Director of Life Sciences and Corporate Solutions for the Georgia Department of Economics Development. All right, so it's great. My show is being broadcast. Our key station is WGST in Atlanta. My first guest is from Georgia, and it's about Georgia. Mother's Day is tomorrow, so I want to give a big shout out to all the mothers out there. We love you all. And now, Amanda, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks, Ben. And thanks for that shout out for Mother's Day.
I know. I mean, none of us would be here without our moms, and we should be thankful for them every day. And
I'll say a big thank you to that too, for my mum who's recovering from an illness right now. Mark's
mother just had a little surgery, so we're all rooting. So Amanda, for tell our audience, what is the Georgia Department of Economic Development? Why is life sciences important, and what's your mission?
Yeah, so the mission at the Georgia Department of Economic Development is to bring jobs and investment to our state. So we're the marketing and sales unit for the state of Georgia, and the life sciences and technology industries are two of our key target industries.
So since you've been doing it, how long have you been doing it, and how many companies have come into the space?
Yeah, so the state's been focused on economic development for decades, and we have a strong department of about 200 people here. My team has specifically been focused on life sciences for between 8 and 10 years now, and we've been able to bring in companies like Baxter Pharmaceuticals. Recently, Kaiser Permanente has announced about 900 new positions here in Atlanta, Georgia. We have an Athena Health location. Athena Health is headquartered up in Boston, but they have a huge presence here in our community, and we've had the good fortune to work with them. So we've gotten to work with a number of companies here at the Georgia Department of Economic Development.
So I read a fact. So over the last 5 years, you've seen over a 72% increase of the number of jobs from life science, resulting is it 8,500 new jobs in Georgia in the space?
Yeah, that's exactly right, and we've seen those throughout the state. So we have health IT companies that are located in Augusta and all the way south in Valdosta. A lot of them are clustered here in the Atlanta area. And then we have Baxter, which I mentioned earlier, which is going in between Atlanta and Augusta along I-20, and they're going to have over 1,000 people at that facility. So we've seen a huge increase between some of our small and medium companies and then a couple of really large ones as well.
So it's not only jobs and it's not only companies coming. Now we're spending a lot more money in the state, right? So it's good for the whole economy of Georgia.
That's right. So we have these companies that are spending money here, and then what the state is doing is that we are echoing that. We're building a new Georgia Bioscience Training Center, which is a facility that would be free of charge to any company that is in the industry. They can use the Georgia Bioscience Training Center to train their employees from the get-go, and that location is going to be in the Covington area as well.
That's great. I think Mark has a question.
No, I just remember visiting the area regularly to go down and I see a couple of the pharmaceutical companies. Novartis, I think, is a big presence down there.
That's right.
Yeah.
So as the director of life science, so a question I got for you. So what's your actual role? So what do you do when an organization? So if I had a company and I was thinking of building a plan or moving, locations, what do you help me with?
So that's exactly what we do. The Department of Economic Development here in Georgia can provide solutions to problems for companies, and we can help through the evaluation period. So if a business is looking to move an office, a headquarters, or a manufacturing facility to our state, we have a group of project managers on my team that can help work with those companies through that. We provide data on labor statistics and availability. We make introductions to the university system so that the company can get tied into our researchers, and through our university system, we help with labor and recruitment, and then we also help with training. And so we can provide all of those services, and the Department of Economic Development provides that one point of contact for companies. So they may be looking in our community and 2 or 3 others across the country, and we can help them through that evaluation process.
And is it only big companies, or can small entrepreneurs get a benefit out of this also?
Yeah, so we work with companies no matter what size. I've recently worked with a business that was putting 2 new jobs here in Georgia, and we are thrilled to have them, and I think that they're going to continue to grow. One way that we also help our smaller companies is that we have a presence at the HIMSS conference, which was recently in Chicago, and we'll be at the Bio International Conference in a few weeks in Philadelphia. We actually buy a pavilion space at those events, and then we give discounted space away to companies that are Georgia-based companies that wouldn't normally be able to attend the shows.
Oh, that's incredible. Just so my audience understands what that means is, so if you're listening and you're in Georgia and you have a HealthTech company, and there is a conference like HIMSS, which is, a huge healthcare conference, Amanda's organization puts a pavilion together, and instead of you paying, whatever, $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 for a booth, you share a smaller cost of it, and you get to be in a pavilion, which is a great opportunity. My favorite part of all the conferences are the pavilions, whether it's a pavilion like the one that you're part of, or Qualcomm's, where they bring startup companies. I just think it's really incredible that you've given me an opportunity to get to a big group of people, but not have to pay for it the same way.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do.
It's awesome. So how does our audience get in touch with you? So if I'm thinking of moving to Georgia, or I am a company in Georgia, how do we get in touch with you?
So our website is georgia.org, and you would be able to go on there and see contact information for myself and some of my colleagues for the different industry sectors that we have focus on. So we have somebody who does advanced manufacturing, logistics, and then life sciences, corporate solutions. You'll be able to find our contact information on georgia.org. And there's also information on our website about the arts community here in Georgia. Film and entertainment is really big here in our state, and so there's information for folks that are in that industry sector. Technology is obviously a big industry in our community, and so no matter what the industry sector, that georgia.org is a great place to go.
So let me ask you a personal question. How did you end up in this role? Like, what attracted you to it?
Oh, that's a great question. So I graduated from Georgia Tech with an international affairs degree, and a couple of my professors had introduced me to economic development. So I lucked out, because it's not something that I ever would have thought about or known of, but I had a couple wonderful professors over at Georgia Tech who introduced me and got me plugged in.
That is amazing. Amanda, thank you so much for being on the show. I want everyone to know we were talking to Amanda Shailendra. She is the Director of Life Science and Corporate Solutions for the Georgia Department of Economic Development. You should check it out at www.georgia.org. And we need to take a couple words from our sponsors, but before we do, I want to thank 1-800 Public Relations for all their PR and marketing support, and we'll be back after these words.